it's going to be a top speed run on this thing. So it's going to be on a tarmac, and for that we need to prepare this thing for the road. So there was issues like in the last part when I was ripping this thing over. So the steering wasn't that good, so that needs to be sorted out. And even the fuel pump, I think so fuel pump went bad or whatever, what was the issue, so that also needed to be sorted out. And yes, the brake, this thing is not having good brakes, so that needs to be sorted out as well. And the rear brakes are not mounted up, only the front brakes, so the front brakes won't be enough for at high speed. We need both the brakes, all the brakes to work perfect. So for that we need to add up rear brakes, and there are plenty of stuff to be done, like small stuff, so we'll just sort that thing out as we go on. So first thing first, so let's just start with the steering first and move on to the other stuff. Alright guys, so here's the one which bended out because of this bend, because of the hole, this bended out. The other side you can see there wasn't any hole, so it did not bend it out, but because of the hole it became thinner from the other side. That's what this thing bended out. So now it's time for me to go ahead and strong this thing out, so that this won't happen again. Alright guys, so this time I strengthened this thing up, and I don't have any doubt that it will bend again. But still, if this thing bends again, means I'm going to throw this thing and just redesign this thing specially. So for now, let's just install this thing back and move on to the next step. Here's the petrol line. So now it's time for me to test this thing out. Yes. So you can see there is petrol coming over here, right? There is petrol. So, and the carburetor stops like it. Okay. So the carburetor stops. And yeah, there is no more petrol. So this is the issue of this thing shutting down, like killing itself because of no petrol at all. Just adding a small piece of pipe, like maybe 1 inch, we can say one inch piece. So I'm just adding this thing right above the carburetor, where the petrol goes directly into the carburetor. So I'm moving this T-junction right where it wants to be. Maybe this thing will help or maybe not. Let's just test this thing up. Maybe this thing will work, maybe, or maybe not. I cannot say right now anything because the pressure over here is very less for the engine. Maybe at high RPM this petrol, the carburetor will get empty soon and the petrol flow is very less. Maybe this will help or maybe not. So let's just try once more. Alright guys, so this is the brake cylinder which I'm going to use over on the BMW for the rear brakes, for the rear axle. So it's going to be the one. This is pretty good. I have with me which is old but not new. So I'm going to install this thing and find out a place where to install this thing and connect it to the rear axle, so that this thing, I will say this thing is best. Alright guys, so this is the design I'm thinking to make it for the brake, and here is going to be the brake cylinder like this. It's going to come over here, and this will be there will be a plate over here for me to press this thing. So this is the place where the bush is going to come. So this is the center place, and here it is going to come like this, and the brake cylinder is going to come over here like this. So as it moves down, it will push this thing inside, and so that the brake cylinder would work. So let's just cut this thing first.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Alright guys, so this is the thing what I have taken and thinking to mount this thing like this. So let's just tap some threads over here and mount this thing first over here. Alright guys, so here's the brake panel, you can see, and it's connected over here like this. So this thing is going to perform best. Alright guys, so we are here at the tarmac with this BMW X5. So we are going to hit flat end. So I found a flat end over here, so over there it's straight. So we can test this thing, send this thing to the max today. Let's just fire this thing up and hit the tarmac and see how much top speed this thing is having.
पीछे हो जाओ पीछे ओए, ओए। पंखा चालू है ना
हाँ हाँ Alright guys, so here's the top speed. You can see it is 88 kilometers per hour. So it's too much of speed. Alright guys, so finally we got to test it out, and this thing was a beast out there. I do admit, because I was the one riding this thing. This thing is having plenty of torque, I must say. For the road it's too much, more than enough, the torque which I'm having over here. So this thing was like a blast over there. But still, for the ratio of this thing I have made for the dunes, not for the road. And even the tires wasn't for the road, so still this thing performed way better than I expect this thing to be. So the main thing which I have built this thing is for the dunes. That's the one thing. For that the ratio is perfect. If I want to make means this thing more faster, means I can go more faster. Like this engine in the bike, it was performing like about 180 kilometers per hour. So 180 kilometers per hour. So it's around, I think so, like nearly 120 miles per hour, something like this. So that was the top speed with this engine. So I can make this thing go that fast because this thing has torque. Even in that speed, this thing has torque. But I don't want to make it like this. I don't want to make this thing a killing machine for me. Even at this speed, this thing was like, what to say, especially when you're sitting in an open area and driving too much fast, it could be risky. Anything could happen. So that's what, this much is enough for me. This is for those who are new in my channel. Please hit that subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out any of my future videos of this thing, and even maybe something else. I have got a new epic project coming up soon, but after this thing will be done.